Silence, not absence, not weakness, but presence. Louder than thunder, sharper than screams that a force unseen, but deeply felt. They said speak up, and yes, sometimes you must. But they never taught you that silence is a language too, that a pause is not empty, that IT is power waiting, that IT is clarity brewing, that IT is purpose sharpening its edge in a world drowning in noise. Silence is rebellion. Silence is discipline. Silence is control. When they doubt you, stay silent. Let your actions translate the truth. When chaos rises, stay still. Stillness is not surrender. Stillness is strategy. Let others chase claps. You chase peace. Let them perform. You transform. Because silence is the home where confidence grows, where vision clears, where real strength forms. Talkers may trend, but thinkers ascend, and the ones who listen own the room. Silence isn't muting your voice. It's tuning your soul at its standing in storms without bending to noise. You don't always need to respond. You need to understand. You don't need to react. You need to reflect. The world rushes, but you wait. You watch. You learn. You strike once and true. Because silence is patience with a backbone. Silence is thunder, not heard, but felt. You ever seen a lion roar without reason? No, the king stays quiet until it's time to move. And when it does, the jungle listens. Be that. Unmoved, unshaken, unbothered, unapologetic. Let your silence teach them what your words never could. Let your quiet become your loudest roar. Let your stillness shake mountains. Let your peace outlast their pressure. Let your calm unsettle their chaos. The power of silence is not about being passive. It's about being precise. Say nothing, but do everything. Say nothing, but become everything. You don't need noise to be noticed. You don't need crowds to be crowned. You don't need applause to be amazing. You just need the power to be still, to be focused, to be grounded. Because silence is where the real ones grow. The strong ones sharpen. The future kings and queens rise. Be silent. Not to disappear, but to dominate. Be silent. Not to hide, but to heal. Be silent. Not to give up, but to gear up. In silence, you meet yourself. And once you do, the world meets a new force. You, unleashed, unbreakable, unstoppable. That's the power of silence. They think silence is weakness, but silence is wisdom wrapped in self-control. It's not that you can't speak. It's that you don't have to. You've already answered. By surviving, be why evolving, be why becoming. Because what's louder than words? Results, discipline, elevation. They laughed when you didn't clap back. They mocked when you didn't explain. But while they shouted, you built. While they distracted, you sharpened. While they watched, you worked. See, silence is a secret weapon. It doesn't show up with fireworks. It shows up with fruit. When you walk into the room, your silence speaks legacy. Your eyes speak focus. Your steps speak purpose. They feel your presence before you even speak. Because silence is felt in your aura, not your echo. You don't need to prove who you are to those who already decided not to see you. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them underestimate. Because silence is the sound of destiny unfolding. It's the space between planting and harvest. It's the breath between storms. It's the calm before greatness crashes in. Talk is cheap, but silence is sacred. And those who master silence, master the moment, master the mind, Master the mission.do. You know what it takes to stay quiet in the face of noise. Strength, vision, conviction. Anyone can shout. Anyone can argue. But it takes power to hold peace like a sword. You don't fight every battle. You prepare for the right one. That you don't defend yourself to doubters. You let time testify. Because silence knows that time reveals all. And those who walked quietly will arrive loudly. Not with speeches, but with evidence. Not with noise, but with impact. So stay silent. Not because you are small, but because you're about to become unignorable. Silence is where kings are crowned before the world ever sees their throne. It's where queens rise. Long. Before the spotlight ever finds their face. Build in silence. Train in silence. Heal in silence. Grow in silence. Win in silence. And then, when the time comes, don't speak. Just walk in what you became. Because that's the real roar, that's the final word, that's the power of silence. Silence is not the absence of words. It's the presence of weight. The world talks fast, but greatness walks slow, and in that still walk is the power few will ever understand. You see, silence is a mirror. It reflects who you really are when no one's watching. No stage, no crowd, no filters. Just you. And in that space, you meet your rawest form. You meet the part of you that doesn't need validation, doesn't chase attention, doesn't beg to be seen. Because real power doesn't demand the mic. It carries the room without a word. The loudest in the room often need the most approval. But the quiet one, they already know who they are. Silence is leadership in disguise. The generals don't shout. The wise don't react. The legends don't explain. They demonstrate. Let the world talk. Let them gossip. Let them debate your name while you keep building yours. They don't see the work. They don't know the nights. They don't feel the grind. But they will witness the results. Because the storm doesn't announce itself. It just shows up and changes everything to be the storm. The silent one. The one brewing in the shadows while others scream for spotlights. Your silence is sacred. It is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is not hiding. It is preparation. It is not fear. It is focus. You don't need to explain your dreams. You need to become them. You don't need to justify your vision. You need to walk in it. Because the world doesn't remember the noisemakers. It remembers the movers, the builders, the quiet giants, the ones who spoke less and did more. And when you walk into your moment, you won't have to say a thing. Your presence will preach. Your story will speak. Your results will roar. That's the power of silence. So protect it. Train in it. Trust it. Because when the world finally hears from you, let it be a sound they'll never forget. Not a whisper of insecurity, but a roar of becoming. Not a shout for attention, but a presence that shifts everything. Let your silence be the birthplace of your legacy. Silence isn't just a tool. It's a territory, a sacred ground where the strongest stand, unafraid. Unmoved, unchained. You see, the silent ones, they walk differently. Eye sharp, spirit focused, heart steady. Because when you walk with purpose, you don't need to announce it. You don't need to tell them who you are. They'll feel it. In your posture, in your pace, in your presence. Because silence is the sound of legacy loading. And legacy doesn't scream, it lasts. It echoes through time, long after the noise is gone. While others fade in trends, you rise in truth. While they entertain the crowd, you impact the future. Let them crave claps, you crave clarity. Let them beg for likes, you build life. Because silence isn't passive, it's precision. It's focus that refuses distraction. It's strength that doesn't flex because it doesn't have to. The loud will try to shake you. The insecure will try to bait you. The world will test your stillness. But silence says, I'm not here to react. I'm here to rise. You don't fight with noise, you fight with vision. You don't win with arguments, you win with execution. You don't chase attention, you attract destiny. Because while they're clapping for temporary, you're creating eternal. They won't understand your silence, and that's okay. They're not supposed to. Silence isn't for them. It's for you. It's where your courage grows, where your identity settles, where your calling becomes clear. You don't need to prove you're great. You need to prepare to be greater. You don't need to post every step. You need to walk like every step is divine. Because silence is where purpose sharpens its blade. And when the time comes, you won't speak. You'll strike. No noise, no warning, just impact, just history. So hold your silence like a crown. Wear it like armor. Guard it like gold. Because when you rise, and you will rise, the world will remember the one who built in silence and rose like thunder. The one who didn't beg to be seen but became unforgettable. The one who didn't shout but shifted everything. That's the power of silence. Now go live it.